Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review, and welcome to Enhanced Black Part 2 series from Valeriom Vision Master Max. This is going to be an enhanced video. If you ever decide to buy a Valeriom Vision Master Max or a Pro 2, this video will give you a definitive idea what you can achieve even without an ALR screen. I know I'm still running my procedures for my full review, so you're going to see it with ALR, without ALR, how it performs. All those things will be seen in the full review, but this is a dedicated enhanced black because the Valeriom Vision Master Max is here and the picture is about 120-25 inches because the screen is 120. It's a little bit exceeding the screen size. In this video, I've changed the camera. Normally, I use the Pocket 3 because of the practicality, so easy of use because I move too much. But in this video, I'm going to use my Panasonic GH5 from my studios, and also I'm going to use the lens of 12 to 35 millimeter Panasonic, again f2.8. It is a pretty sharp lens, probably one of the sharpest small zoom ranges for micro four thirds, and we're going to have a huge amount of detail in the video because I'm going to shoot high bitrate level with the Panasonic GH5. If you have any information about hobbyist or maybe cinema cameras, GH5 has a decent picture quality when it comes down to the editing and the high bit rate. It is a well-known camera, so I've been using it for years in the studio for product shooting and commercials. So right now I'm going to use this in this video. What we're going to use, I'm going to fill the entire camera sensor with the image from Valeriom Vision Master Max right here, and we're going to tune the settings. We're going to change the iris. We're going to change the gamma. We're going to change the enhanced adjustments like AI and auto adjustments from the device, and we're going to dive deep because early video I've showed you the entire room with the Pocket 3 sensor, so that was not truly representing the contrast level that you can achieve with this device, because when you're shooting a wider scene like this is the entrance of the video, first section, and I'm shooting with the smartphone right now, so this is not representing the picture quality of the Valeriom Vision Master Max. Don't get me wrong, the second section will be through the Panasonic, so it will be hugely different video what you're seeing right now because the camera is trying to compensate depending on the brightness. This is an auto expose shot, and when the scenes get darker, camera is trying to boost up. This is not going to be like that through the rest of the video. We're going to have a fixed exposure and you're going to see the true blacks and how deep we can go to the enhanced black EBL, because I trust. I've used the Valeriom Vision Master Pro 2 for a long time, and I did lots of different educational videos. I've installed the latest firmware, and we're going to dive deep. This is not a beta firmware, so if there is a beta, let me know under the comments. This is still the regular firmware that everyone can download, so it's nothing special. You can do the similar stuff like I did in this video. So you can try this at your home if you got a Valerion. So without further ado, with the jokes aside, let's get started to enhance black from Valeriom Vision Master Max on a matte white wall. Switching to the Panasonic GH5. In this part of the video, we're going to use the Panasonic GH5, and the first thing that we do is I'm going to open up, as you can see, 4K gray screen video from YouTube. The reason behind it, we're going to have to tune the projector, and I'm going to go back again, go to the search, okay, and then clear this, and let's just do it. I want you to understand the procedure because this is a triple laser projector. I need to go to the white screen. So this is the proper white, as you can see. So I'm going to go back to the white. This is the white. So we're going to define this into the video editing tool, and we're going to have the perfect colors. So what we can do is go to the search, Home Cinema and Tech Review, and start with some of the settings, okay? If you haven't watched the first video from Valeriom Max Enhanced Black Part 1, this is the Part 2. So the Part 1 has a wide angle shots. This video is dedicated to close-up shots. You're going to be seeing the entire screen filled with projected image on a matte white wall. So we're going to go from Home Cinema and Tech Review playlist, Projector and TV test videos. So these videos, by default, I need to show you probably the settings of the projector. When you go around, let me just do it like this, hit the settings, quick settings. We got right now the HDR standard mode, and I haven't done anything. Let's start the video, by the way. This is the first video, and what we have to do is control if it's running 4K. You can definitely check the channel 8K, and what I'm going to do is running 8K normal speed. And what I'm going to do, this video is 10 minutes of a video. Let's call the video back fully into the beginning, and I'm going to change some of the settings to show you how good the picture is. Right now the brightness is 10 out of 10, so I'm going to hit the quick menu. From HDR Standard to HDR Sports, take a look at the change. HDR Standard is more vivid and bright. Again, HDR Sports, HDR Standard. Standard is brighter, but darker areas are becoming lighter. And the Sports is giving you more dynamic range and a little less bright on the darker areas. And from here to energy saving, make things even darker. HDR Game, kind of like sharper. HDR Theater is like yellowish. Filmmaker mode is always dimming and also softer. And IMAX mode, and then we're going to go upwards like HDR Sports, HDR Standard, and HDR Vivid. Other than that, we don't have too much of a things to say about. HDR Standard instead of a Vivid or Sport will give us the more dynamic range in this condition. So I will stop eventually some of the scenes and show you some of the stuff. So let's just stop the video around here to change the stuff that we have. So quickly, first of all, the quick menu, you don't have this sort of quick menu in every projector. That's a nice touch. So let's go with HDR Sport mode from here to energy saving mode. We got quite a bit of dimming, as you can see, and that really changes the tonality. So HDR Game makes things softer, and I'm going to from here to energy saving back again. Take a look at the bubbles, okay? Get closer if you can with the pinch in if you got a tablet or phone. You can clearly say this is a lot softer image, and this is HDR Theater. So everything goes to the little bit of yellowish tones, but still we have the HDR. Filmmaker mode lost the dynamic range because we are swapping from HDR to Filmmaker mode. It's interesting. Other than that, I mean, not totally interesting, but something we know. And IMAX mode is not like an HDR defined. So this is a HDR video from YouTube, okay? And what we have to do, again, go back again, HDR Sports, HDR Standard is extremely bright, vivid, and also sharp enough. HDR Vivid is dimming a little bit, but also punching the colors along the way. So you could still prefer all of them. I mean, I need to be going HDR Standard. Let's play through the rest of the video. This is, by the way, a black level. Camera is not perfectly able to show you if I fix the exposed to the maximum exposed section of the video. So I am seeing, of course, a little bit, let's just say, black lights in this condition, but this is the first stage. I haven't played with the Iris, I haven't played with the gamma. This is by default, just moving with stuff around. So I'm going to stop in this section, okay? So I'm going to go from here to hit the settings. This is a high contrast scene. So let's see what we can do. Go to the projector. And what we can do is lens shift and iris. So let's go to the iris. This is the level 5. That's why it was so contrasted. So I'm going to level 4. It comes by the 3. So we're dimming, but we're also increasing the contrast. When you go 6, from 5, you're dimming, and also the tonalities shifts through the cinematic tone like Filmmaker, like a little yellowish. I don't know if you're picking it up, but the contrast is increasing hugely. But along the way, brightness is a little loss. But is it worth it if you're going to watch it in a matte white wall like I do? I was, because of the first video, I probably left it at the level 5. That's where the difference of the Valerion Vision Master Max is. You can do it also Iris mode auto, but I think it comes by the default 3 is pretty good, but 4 or 5 must be done because you got a lot of changes. That's why it is difficult for people to understand why these things matter. So I'm going to hit the settings again. So entire settings. What we are going to do, again, display sound. So I'm going to go to the picture, okay? When I do it like this, the picture menu is also, the picture is on the right. So I'm going to go laser luminance. Right now it's 10 out of 10. I can push the contrast. By the way, the black levels are -15. I did it in the same video. I'm going to go by default 0 first. And then I'm going to open it up totally. So you can have slightly edged light, probably cornering, like you might be able to see right now the rest of the black box rectangle, but it comes by default at 0. But normally I go -15 for my taste because I'm using mostly not with ALR, I'm just using with white wall and limitless. I'm not watching it like this small. I most of the time watch 140, 45 inch depending on my distance. But you should definitely check out 150, 200, 300 images. So the dark detail is right now off. If you put it on and off, put it on and off, you might not see extreme details. So the gamma is fixed, as you can see in this mode. Active contrast is high. If I go medium and low and off, and from here I'm going to go directly high, high, off, high, off. Huge difference. Take a look at the purple tones. This is high, this is off. So I'm going to keep it on the medium, but in terms of getting the most contrast, I'm going to keep it high. Brightness enhancer right now is off because of the, as you can see, it says brightness of the screen, prolonged opening can affect the product's lifespan, but right now is off. If you make it on, it just enhances the brightness, but also loses the color accuracy. Dynamic tone mapping right now low. Let's go high, from low to high. Take a look at the purple tones. We are still active contrast high, and also I am from here, low, high, off, off, high, off, high. Pretty significant difference. And other than that, HDMI dynamic range is right now auto. You can still push up the contrast. Enhanced black level is high. Let me just do it low, off. For this, we need a very, very dark scene, fully entirely dark scene. So the sharpness is right now 25. So the scene is running with AI. That's why it says you got to cancel the AI. So super resolution is on for details. And these are the stuff that I normally leave alone. But if you go along right like this, content type auto detection and AI scene. So if I close it and open it up, AI automatically does everything for me. So I'm going to play the rest of the video with this higher contrast level. And this is going to fill the entire screen. If you ask me, you don't need this much of a brightness. You can dim the picture down like a probably 7 out of 10. That way you can keep the dynamic contrast, enhanced black, and also better blacks. But at this point, for example, this is an extremely bright scene. Let me just stop here. This is an extremely bright scene, and it hurts my eyes at the stage of level 10 of a power output. I would definitely go down like a level 5, and that reduces the rest of the wall's light level, because the reason is we are exposing to the brightest section of the video to capture every detail. You see the rest of the image, like the left and the right of this glass is like pretty dark, but I can see the white of the wall because the room is entirely lit because of this extreme brightness. So I can't put you through the entire process. That's why the part 1 exists. In the part 1, you're seeing the left and the right and the spaces around because the camera is trying to compensate and expose through the entire room. You are seeing somewhat of clearer to what I see, but in this video, I want you to see how good the highlights and the contrast is. That's why this video exists, and that's why this video also gives you the sharpness difference, amount of sharpness difference that you can achieve. So we're going to change the video. Let's test another one. If the commercials happens, we're going to go back and forth, don't worry. So this is a pretty pretty contrasted image, and you all know by now, like, the contrast is at the level of high, enhanced black is on, AI is activated, and this image really punches hard. And when I say hard, it really is much for my eyes. I would definitely use this, not instead of a 120 on a white wall, I would use this probably minimum 150 or 170 inch on a matte white wall. Up to 200 inch, this is even still much. So I would prefer this instead of this brightness. Right now the camera is probably overexposed in this brightest scene. So some of the scenes, if you see something over bright, that is because of the limitations of the camera. I fixed the camera exposure to get things by default to the maximum brightness, but still I could be out of some range of exposure. So then don't get me wrong, it's not about the projector. If there's a mistake, it's about the camera and the settings that I've done. But so far so good. Camera is trying to do its best. I am watching it from behind. So the picture is great. This really feels like a TV. Everything is sharp and vivid, and there is not much for me to tell, I guess. So I'm going to move forward a little bit in this video. So let's go. Again, I'm going to change this video and go to directly the OLED demo that I love. And this is a Dolby Vision demo. And as you can see, high bright sections, and just wait for it. So this is a high bright and darker scenes applies in the same time, kind of like scene. And I think this really hurts my eye at this stage with the 120 inch. And these bright scenes like that too. The only reason and time that I want such a stuff, probably I would like to have to use it with ALR. So I'm going to hit back to the picture because I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we need to be considering again. The up top glass is like a jewelry, or probably like a diamond or a Swarovski or something. Since I am not a lady, I'm not expert on this, but I will change the modes so you can see the amount of detail. This is HDR standard and this is HDR sports. My guess is HDR standard is bright, but with HDR sports, you're getting much more detail. And when you go from here, energy saving, things go a little darker, but the picture is extremely contrasted. The game feels softer, if you ask me. And HDR theater gives you the color, gives you the details of the dynamic range, but color is shift through the maybe more neutral skin tone, kind of like more yellow tones are here. Filmmaker mode is a little bit overexposed. Other than that, IMAX mode does not change too much. So HDR Sports, HDR Standard, even brighter, and also HDR Vivid. So it's up to you. HDR Vivid and Standard is my favorite. And at the background, you got a lot way to go. So I'm going to keep things HDR Vivid and play the rest of the video. If you are watching this for the first time, if you walk into this room right now where I am, you would definitely say this is a TV level of quality without a doubt. But if you don't have an ALR, when you look around and get back to the picture, you will see a rectangle box is just trying to cover up the area. So you feel it, this is a projector, but you don't feel it that much like the other projectors out there because of the enhanced blacks and all the deep contrast settings that this device has. So that's why the Valerion Vision Master Max exists with its own class, like the compact size, smart functions, enhanced black, and upgradable lens later on, change the perspective and the angle. So you can't say truly bad things about the Valerion Vision Master Max, but I'm keeping some of the stuff for the full review. So I'm going to go back. In this scene, people will judge some of the stuff. Let's open up the darker scenes, because when I play games and bright scenes, everybody reminds me that, hey dude, you must be shooting like a dark scenes videos. That's where the enhanced black shines, and I know, but extremely black scenes are difficult to pull off and show people in the real time. For example, this is another tough scene, but it's not going to be probably too long of a scene. This scene again shows the gradient or gradual tonality difference about a teapot. And this scene is truly one of the probably most rememberable ones. And like this is a pretty bubble and oil and water combination probably inside of a glass. And this is good old honey. I think you're getting the picture here. You can definitely, let me just slow down in this scene and hit the settings again, because I believe you got to see this. So when you hit the settings button, from here to display sound and the picture. So what I'm here capable here is, we can do apply settings to all settings, but also from general, you can close the AI. Okay, 1, 2, 3, you can open it back up. Laser luminance is 8, level 8 for this video, but you can definitely feel it at level 10 because we played with the Iris. That's why it is a little bit dimmed, okay? Enhanced black is right now, let's just try it. Off, low, high. Off, high. So technically, this is again a brighter video section. Contrast, you can push it more. Black level is 0. We can go minus 15, like we talked about. But definitely, let me just open this up so you can understand. Take a look at the wood section and the right side of the honey oval. I'm going to hit black levels to the left. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. Yes, it's definitely working, but I'm going to put my detail settings. Other than that, detail settings, dark detail, this is, I guess, activated. And gamma is not right now always on, so you gotta zoom out in or maybe change your direction to it. Active contrast is medium, high, and go from low to off to high, off to high. This is a pretty significant difference and everybody has to try. Dynamic tone mapping is low, off, and high. So I think the dynamic tone mapping, the active contrast, and the black levels are like, okay, this is level 10 kind of tunes are far more than enough. Let me just play this video again. So one other thing is, right now we're using the default lens, which was about, probably, if I'm remembering normal and right values, 0.9 to 1.2 throw ratio. Blacks are black, gradients are gradient, and this is a pretty good footage. Yeah. I think the video is about the end, and also my sleep is coming. So I have to stop in this scene. But I need to go back a little bit. Sorry. So these scenes are pretty much the significant difference between an amateur projector or something like this. So that's where the magic happens. HDR Vivid. From here to HDR Standard, take a look at this. Vivid is trying to boost up the darker scenes, but the Standard is keeping the blacks as deep as possible and the contrast even increases more. And HDR Sports is trying to do its thing. HDR Energy Saving is trying to cover up the stuff. HDR Theater is sharp but little yellowish. So I'm going to go from HDR Standard to HDR Vivid. HDR Standard, HDR Vivid. Vivid also like to, lighten up the darker areas and try to solve that darker section, but I would go directly HDR Standard if you ask me. So other than that, HDR Standard is here. What we can do is go to the projector
is again display zoom and kind of like the iris, if you will. Or we got the gamma settings, RBE reduction. So this is the rainbow artifacts of the image. It will, when it is enabled, increase the noise from the device. It will increase noise from the device. Reduces the rainbow artifacts because of the DLP. High altitude mode is off. Ultra sharp mode is on. DLP turbo mode is right now off. No reason to put it on. No 3D testing in this video. Other than that, I guess the only thing that I can tell is the iris level right now. Let me just go for level 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can definitely tell 3 to 4 is ideal. The device is coming with 3 right into the middle. I would wish it was, just 6. Iris mode is also, you can change like an off the camera 1, 2 or manual like this. And I guess screen alignment, auto keystone correction, some of them are dedicated to me. So there is nothing to worry about. Other than that, I guess this section is over. So I'm going to hit again. Projector. Am I missing anything? Yes, no, I am not missing anything. And that's why I'm playing this video. So everybody knows this. And I really need a sleep. This is late 1 o'clock at night. And I think subscription and support the channel would be very highly appreciated, because I am working very hard through the day, through the night, and then shooting the videos like this. So the high contrast is on, enhanced black is on, everything auto is on, and these guys are running pretty good image quality right out of the YouTube source. It's not even a dedicated digital source where you can push the limits even more, even further. And what I see really impressed me. I hope it did the same effect on you. So I was waiting for Valerion Vision Master Max to be pretty good. But seeing the iris alive and the contrast is deepest, I really wasn't expecting this much of an easy to use and also contrast in the same time. So let's go HDR and push the envelope a little bit. And yeah, this is a pretty awesome contrasted image, and I believe you will have your answer. Even if you got a white wall, you can really achieve pretty deep darks and keeping the dynamic range, but I wouldn't use it this level of brightness because this hurts my eyes. And for this scene, I might have to stop and adjust accordingly. I'm going to change it, not the shutter, but I'm going to have to change the diaphragm from 5 to 6 because this is a pretty bright scene. But take a look at the details. Right now the diaphragm value is 8. I know I am reducing the brightness, but boy, this is the amount of detail and sharpness, and I can see every bit of detail in the, probably this is a powder, and also the eggs, and I think this is a pretty great image, but a lot more than I can handle without ALR. And that's about it. So I really love the picture quality, what I get with without an ALR. And if you got a matte white wall, you can go limitless with Valerion Vision Master Max. And let me know what you think. In this video, I haven't tried the IMAX video 21:9, kind of like an anamorphic videos. I will try to do it in the upcoming videos. And I haven't told you the whole story about the iris, because iris really changes a lot of stuff. So let me know what you think, what you want to see in the upcoming videos. Until the next video, bye from Home Cinema and Tech Review, and hoşça kalın from Istanbul, Turkey. And if you want to buy Valerion Vision Master Max, I will drop down the links in the description, in the comments, so you can help the channel out.